Hello folks, I've just cut the sill down and put it on the wall. Very difficult to get this in the right position, so I'm not even putting mortar in at the moment. I'm just jacking it up onto some stones. So I need to get it level in this direction. I need a fall on it from back to front. So I just got it chocked on 3 or 4 stones so that I can at least check it for level. It's not quite level yet. And also I've cut this timber to the same height as the window so that I can check that I can get that in place under the lintel up there, and with just a tiny gap, see that little bit of movement there. It's pretty much the same at both ends. So once I'm completely happy with that, then I'll start feeding mortar in from the front and the back. And once that goes off, that should be my sill sorted. And then I've just obviously got to cut 2 more bits, one for each end. It's the only way I can think of doing it and have some kind of easy adjustment on its position. If I just put a bed of mortar down and drop it on that, I'm kind of committed to it. And if it's wrong, it's a real pain. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to get the final few tweaks on it and then start filling the mortar up. Hello folks, I'm recently back from a trip down to Essex, a dual purpose trip. One was to go and see family and the other was to collect windows, which I'm very pleased to say were ready and have arrived. I spent yesterday getting the first one in. There we go. It's not actually fitted, it's just in place. And I think they fit really nicely actually. You recall, but I cut in the previous video, I cut down these reveals with a grinding wheel, created a slot and then cut the stone back. And so yeah, grey on the outside, white on the inside. There's actually quite a lot of work to do to get them to fit at this point. So this is the next one I'm doing. If you remember, I cut these rebates in the stone, but I only cut enough. I cut the slot and then cut the stone back, just enough to get the measurement. I didn't actually finish the whole thing, so you can see up there, the rebate doesn't even exist. The slot's there, but the rebate hasn't been cut yet. Same that side. So I've got to cut all this stone back, and then, you know, I've got to make sure I've got enough room this way to get the window into the rebate. So I've been messing around with this one this morning, just cutting stone back. It's a long, tedious, hard process, but it's worth doing it that way because you get such a neat finish on the outside. So I'll be lucky if I get 2 done a day, I would imagine. So we'll see how we go. So we've got these 4 along the front, and then that's the window for this opening here, where I'm going to put the cobbled floor in. And then there's this one. See the wall that I built recently. It'll have been featured in bits of it. Will be featured in a previous video. It's all finished, and that window is just sitting there temporary, just so I can see that it was something close to fitting. So that's today's job, just chipping away at the stone, trying to get the windows to fit, which they will do. It's just going to take a while to get them just right. So yeah, here we go. Hey? What did you say?
I wondered where the other chair was.
What other chair?
Well, I know there wasn't when I got 3 out.
I've got to chip the head away again. It's exactly the same as that one. It's fine on the right, but not on the left. Not liking the look of that though. So when I made these, measured these windows, I wanted to make them pretty tight so that there was a good fit all around. As you can see, it takes quite a while to cut the stone back the required amount. But up the top, you can see that. It's okay along there, but tight there. So I've got to chip all of that head away, which is what I did on this previous one, and it is a real pain. You see, I've chipped all of that away. It's hard work doing the sides, but at least you're standing upright. When you do the top, you've got to kind of, well, you're working upside down all the time, and it's a real pain. But there you go. I could have made them slightly smaller, but then I'd have ended up with gaps, and I don't like that. So, just got to get on and do it. I could be some time.
At least I'm on holiday. So I get to do all the cleaning.
Cleaning, I'm not sure cleaning is the right word.
Mucking out?
Mucking out, that's more like it. So this window's going to be in and out for quite some time while I get that sorted in the corner. So I did notice that this sill does kick up on this side somewhat, so I thought before I start messing around with the head, which actually looks pretty flat as it happens, I'm wondering whether it's just the window was sitting at an angle. That's what was creating the gap, because that's actually really flat. And this this sill, I mentioned it in a previous video, can't think what we were doing in that, I think it was when I was cutting these reveals in an earlier video, that there used to be like a double glazed secondary unit in here, which obviously didn't fit quite right when they put it in, so they ground a great big slot in the stone sill, which was a little short-sighted. But then I guess if you've got no plans to use the barn for anything other than storage, then why would you? Didn't know somebody was going to make it into their house at some point. So I'm going to chip away at the bottom, try and get this a bit more level. It's already made a difference just dropping that bit that I've done. And hopefully that will do the trick. Just going to put the window in, see what difference that's already made, if any. Wow, that really has made a difference. That's slid in a lot further already. And something you can do with these windows, as you'll see, that there's ribs on the tops of these. See this, which is about probably 5mm. So you can actually plane them off. Which is what I think I'm going to have a go at. I might just try and plane that off the top. Be certainly a lot easier than chipping away at the head of the window or the head of the frame. Yeah, I'm going to take that off with a little planer and see what happens. Wow, look at that. That's the easiest one so far, that's by some way. That's brilliant. I think that's gone in all the way. Yeah. I don't think I filmed that, did I? Didn't turn the camera back up, but it's just dropped into place. So I'll show you the beauty of these reveals that I've cut in the front. Obviously this bit here is going to have to be repointed, but up against the stone it's just a great join, and I can put sealant along there before the window gets pushed into place. Look at that up there, it's just a lovely fit. And I mean, there is a discrepancy on the head. It's tight all the way along there, then you can see that the head kicks up a little bit there, so we've got a little gap there, but I'm going to fill that with clear sealant, so when you step back you still just see the straight edge line of the window, so it will look fine. Already put that one in, and same thing, really neat and tidy. It's not fixed yet, so it's sitting back off the reveal a touch, but that will go back. So, yeah, very pleased with that one. Wasn't in and out too many times at all. So, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'll put sealant on the reveal, push the window onto the sealant, that will seal all around there, and then from the inside I'm going to spray expanding foam, the insulating expanding foam in there, and it's one that doesn't expand too much, so it stays quite dense, which is the best one for fixing windows into place. So very happy. That went in an awful lot easier than that one. It took me over half a day yesterday, so that's good. I think an hour and a half or something to do that one. Right, press on. Well, that's the next rebates cut, or finished. I cut them before obviously, but they're finished now. Tried the window in, won't fit, and the reason is this. Try and explain, well, not explain, just try and catch it on camera. When you look at these metal stone sills, they look really flat. But then you get a straight edge put on them. Look at that. So this has got a hump just here. When you run your hand on it, you can feel it. It starts here and goes right up and down there. So there's no point messing around with the head. I think the head is the head's actually fairly flat, but this bottom isn't. So I'm just going to have to punch away at this until I've got rid of that hump. So I'm just going to use the punch, which I've already mentioned is just like a 1/4 inch wide tip, tungsten carbide tip. So it's going to be a case of pepper in it. Oh, well, who'd have thought? A little bit of a lump sticking out on that bottom reveal, so I'm just going to deal with that, and then I can start thinking about getting these all sealed and fixed with sealant and foam. That's all 4 frames in now, so that's good. Well, I'm going to get this window fixed now, so first of all I'm going to blow all the dust off. It's raining outside, of course, so I'm not going to be sealing the outside, not today anyway, but that's okay. So I'm just going to put that up roughly where the outside of the window is going to finish, and then I can put a bead of sealant on the sill, so any water that comes underneath, which it shouldn't do, but just belt and braces, it will hit this line of sealant and won't come any further. Then I'm going to put a bead of sealant along the edge of the stonework, which the window will push up against. So this works as a sealant and an adhesive. So it's doing 2 jobs really. There are some places where it is going to need pointing on the outside on these edges. Just like these here and here, where the joints are in the stones, we have to do a little bit of pointing. I can do that once the window's in. I'm just going to take the plastic, this protective layer off the window. That's going to get trapped behind behind the reveal once it goes in. And then I'm just going to get a cloth and wipe those edges down, because that's what's going to push against the sealant. So I don't want anywhere that's dusty, because then the sealant won't stick as well as it can. Push that into the sealant. Oh yeah, that's nice. Now get a bead of sealant around the outside edge as well once it's all fixed in place. And now it's time to put this expanding foam in. Get it as far at the front as I can get it as well. Fill up the whole gap. There we go. That's all. That'll keep expanding. This stuff doesn't expand as much as some. That way it stays a little denser and fixes a little harder. That's what I've already done. See how it's expanded out a little bit more. That'll get cut off later. And now you can just make out where the sealant is just squeezing out from the stonework. Not everywhere, but that will get another bead all the way down there. It's a nice neat finish. I'll get a big bead in the top as well and at the bottom. I'll do that on a dry day. This one we've just done. Now this is where it's going to have to be pointed, just in this little bit here. I'll probably chip that actual bit of pointing out and redo that whole piece there. And then there'll be another bead of sealant right the way down. Same here, pointing required. So I've got these two to do. That one I just put the glass in temporary so I could get an idea of what it looked like. And I put that window in yesterday and stupidly forgot to film myself doing it. Just got a bit excited and carried away. Very different that one because it's not a splayed window, you know, the stonework is just straight. So it was actually a really nice fit. If you remember, I was building this stone wall at the bottom and putting the sill on and needing the sill to be exactly the right position because the window had already been ordered. And I'm happy to say it's worked out absolutely perfect. That's nice tight joint on the bottom and meets the RSJ at the top beautifully. Well pleased with that. And you can see where I've put the foam in and I've cut the foam off there. It's nice and neat. I've also foamed the outside of this one. That also will get trimmed off and then I'm going to do something in that corner to seal it all off as well. And again, I'll seal the the sill on a dry day. But what I'm happy to see is it's rained really heavy overnight and it's been pretty windy, but nothing has blown in underneath. It's bone dry, that sill on the inside, so it's lovely to feel like you've got an inside and an outside now. We actually sat in here for a while last night and just enjoyed not being in the wind. Yeah, what a great view from the window. Well, be better if it wasn't raining and cloudy, but you get what I mean. Anyway, I'll get on and do these next couple of windows, and look forward to standing back and seeing what it looks like. Yeah. 2 down, 2 to go.